There are three scenarios where you can come across into supplier collaboration. So first thing is you have got a partial information about an item in the catalog item. So you find out into the description, but you are not sure. For example, there is an item which is mentioned in the catalog item, and you do not know whether that item uh, you want to get additional information, whether the packing cost is included or not. For example, I'm saying in such cases, you can start enabling with the collaborator and get your questions answered before you place a purchase order to the vendor. In that scenario, you use the collaborating with the supplier and get the item description clarified, and then you place an order. That is first scenario. In the second scenario, in the second scenario, where your company is having a policy for certain category of purchases which you are procuring, they expect that you get the quotations from 3 minimum suppliers. In such case also, you can incorporate this bits policy, N bits policy. Once you incorporate N bits policy, the PR automatically stops you if you select certain commodity code and ask you to enter 3 collaborators. In such scenario also, you can do enable collaboration. In third scenario, where you want to purchase bulk quantity. For example, the price which you have received is a unit price. Unit price, for example, I'm saying 1000. So you are placing an order for 10,000 quantity, which is a bulk order or which is a highest quantity. So you are giving a highest business. So you want to expect additional discount for this particular order. In such scenario also, you use the collaboration feature. So get your pricing renegotiated so that you can get some discount from the vendor. In such scenarios or any other business scenario, you can use this supplier collaboration. In some of the cases where you do not have a sourcing solution available, you can treat this also one of the feature of a sourcing. But you won't get additional features like project management, reviewing the previous details, what is the quotations earlier they have provided. Those kind of details is not possible, but you can a small sourcing project kind you can able to achieve using this supplier enable collaboration method, supplier collaboration or enable collaboration. And also during this process, you can also create a new supplier also. It is not necessary that existing supplier, there is also one parameter is enabled. There you can also invite a new supplier. So the supplier will get an invite link. So with that, he will able to register and respond to your buying and invoicing solution. Now, I am going to show you on the screens. Currently, we do not have this access enabled in current project. So I have taken from another project and I'm sharing the screen, how it will look like. So you go to purchase requisition screen and click on create non-catalog item. You will get enable collaboration on the right hand side. Once you click on enable collaboration, then that purchase requisition will go in collaboration mode. Then you enter the minimum details, whatever you know, which purchase organization you belongs to comes from your user profile. If you want to change, you can change it and provide the description, what is the commodity code, how much quantity you require, what is the price. Known information. Even if you see here, quantity, okay. This is a compulsory. So price, whatever the known price we can enter. Then once on the supplier information below the screen, so you will be having a supplier enumeration. And the supplier first screen, it will tell you whatever the suppliers are added into the requisition. There is a possibility you can automatically bring in suppliers, preferred suppliers into purchase requisition by enabling certain feature. When you select this particular commodity code, automatically those suppliers which has preferred in your company will be automatically populated in purchase requisition. If that feature is not enabled, you need to manually select. In this case, you see invited suppliers are none is there. In that case, you click on change on the supplier information, then you will get the below screen. So what is below screen? Add new supplier. So currently selected is 0. Once you click on add new supplier, then you will get a list of all the suppliers available in your portal or your buying no solution. Wherever you are having suppliers enable, you just need to select those suppliers. For example, I have selected 2 samples, Staples and Greigner. So these 2 suppliers have been added. Then I am going to do a collaboration. I am going to get the prices from these 2 suppliers. once you have selected the supplier and click on OK, complete your cart, or which is nothing but where this line item is OK, then you will go in and to enter your details and click on submit. So you can see on the PR screen, the number will be generated with PR number PR 19967. So just test one. And also on the right hand side, you will be seeing number of suppliers have been invited, and you will also get the option collaborate with supplier for this item is yes. And under the bidding type, you will also have open bidding, closed bidding, other options similar to your event also, where you want to show the prices leading and other details. You can do that activity. Or simple procurement, you just get the prices from them and accept one of the proposal. Once you click on OK, now system will drive you the approval process based on your collaboration. You see here, so this is a typical approval flow. Submitted, first it will go to the finance department, so then it will be in supplier collaboration active mode. Then purchasing agent has to submit. Once that, at this stage, the supplier collaboration will completed. So after that, it will go a normal regular process of your approval flow, whatever you are having. So the first pre-enable collaboration and until end collaboration is completed, then normal PR approval flow will be followed. Then at this stage where the two symbols were there, right, collaborating symbols, after this stage is completed, the rest of the process flow is normal purchase requisition. When you are submitting purchase requisition, whatever the approval flows have been configured, those approval flows will be re-triggered, because here this process is to get collaboration with the supplier. If you are having an approval flow, that will be taken care. If you do not have any approval flow, then until collaboration is completed, the new approval flow will not be triggered. Okay. Now, with this, once you have completed, this is a regular process. How you submit your PR. So the same way you are going to submit your PR, and once PR is approved, all the necessary approvals, you can see one person is added as a watcher. There are 3 pending. So these people, procurement desk agent, some production planning team, and some other approver is required. Once these 3 people approves it, then watcher, he don't need to approve. He will be just seeing or getting a notifications for the progress of this PR. Once this is done, at the last stage, the watcher will receive. Now all the people have approved. The PR is going into the next stage. So then PR will be processed. So PR once it is completed, then you will be getting PO generated and sent to the supplier. That is our regular process. Now we'll move on to the next topic, user manager. Again, user manager, I do not have an access, so I'll be showing in the screens. So one of the main administration area will be user manager, where you are going to manage SAP Ariba users in your Ariba buying and spend management solution. So as you go to the core administration, user data generally will be available in core administration. For example, you have taken only upstream solution, you have not taken any downstream solution. That means you have subscribed only for sourcing, contract management, SLP, then this user manager will be available in your administration area. You won't get the option to click on core administration also. Other than that cases, wherever you are having core administration as well as upstream administration, then user data will be available in your core admin only. So once you click on core administration and you see the left hand side user manager access, so which consent of users, other user info, groups, data import and export, delegations. Okay, these functions you can use to manage your user management. The first tab, users, will allow you to import users and look for whatever the current users available in your spend management. Other user information will give you other information like whether the user is assigned any P card, or whether user is having what is his default plan and default delivery location. All that information you will find under other user information. Groups. So groups in Ariba is called roles, where you are getting a permissions. in SAP terminology, if you're asking authorizations. So user, for example, to perform transaction code ME21, user need to have an authorization to use that code. So the basis team will provide that. The similar way, the groups will be roles in Ariba. Having certain roles, you can able to perform actions. So again, groups can be two ways you can add. So you go to the users and change the users, and you will see the groups assigned to that user. You can click on add or remove and add some groups to the user. That way also you can do. Or you go to groups, find out the roles which is available in your system, change one of the rules. In the rules, it will also have the users currently available in that groups. Then you add the user into it. So either changing the user, you can assign additional permissions, or go to the permissions and add users who are all need that access. Both the ways you can able to manage it. Then data import and export. If you do not have site manager access, you can access user manager related data using data import and export. Delegations is also one of the feature which will be given only to the customer administrator. For example, in your company, one person went on a leave. He's supposed to take approval. He is an approver. So certain purchase requisitions waiting for his approval. So then user has called that approver. Hey, can you please approve this PR? This has to go today itself. Then that user is saying, I am out of office. I will not able to log in into the system. So what is the remedy here? Either he has to log in into the username and password in remote area and he can perform the action, or he need to inform the management or IT team saying that I'm on leave for so and so date. Can you please delegate my authority to someone else? Or your manager or a super user or whoever having the authority, they will confirm you this user is so and so. Can you please create a delegation? So customer administration will get that request through any of the channel. Then using this delegation, he can decide for which user, for how long, and to whom you want to delegate. Then he can able to set the delegations in the Ariba on his own. The other method is doing a delegation will be in self-service menu. You can delegate your authority whenever you are going on a leave. You can do that self-creation of delegation. If that option is not there, let us see whether we have that option in Ariba. So here you will be seeing, yes, thank you. We have here. I don't think we have discussed on the delegate authority. So under user profile, you will be seeing this delegate authority. Click on that. Suppose the one person is going on a leave, for example, buyer 7, he is going on a leave. Meanwhile, he want to assign to buyer 8 his permission, and he will put the starting date from today until tomorrow, or whatever the period he is going. Then he can put his reason why he want to delegate. Continue to notify me email approval request. If you are saying this, then during this period, you will also receive a notification. So that is for your recording purpose. If you do not want to get disturbed, then you will be removing it. Then click on next. So here the customer administrator need to approve this user profile, changes to the delegation. This can be configurable. Then click on next. So you can see this delegation from and once submit. So now once you submit, so the user buyer 8, when he log in into Ariba, the system will tell you, do you want to act as buyer 8 or buyer 7? So for example, you want to verify whatever the approvals are pending with the buyer 7, you want to take a decision, then he will click on, I will act as a buyer 7. So then he will go to the to-do activities of that user, and wherever the PR is there, he can click and he can submit his approval. So he is basically acting on behalf of that other user and taking the actions. So this way, the delegation authority will work. So you don't need to change. For example, in SAP, if you are having PR approval flows or PO release strategies, only that person only has to approve it, or he has to inform basis that he is going on a leave. Then in basis they need to change this user ID to some other ID during he come back. That has to be done. But in Ariba, you can use the self-service system. Then automatically it will take care of your delegation without any doing any back job. And if user is forgot this activity to perform, then the option is given to customer administrator where he use the delegation authority and he give the delegation from person to person. Okay, now we are going to see some screens in user manager. So once you click on users, you will be having the filters like this. User ID, you can search with the user ID or a name or an email address. Then what type of users? Generally, you will come across two type of users in any environment: enterprise user or third party user. Basically, third party user access will be given to the consultant or outside organization to perform activities. Like we generally get third party user access, but in some cases to make it uniform, you will be provided a login detail with the client. Then you will be acting as an enterprise user only. Also, you can search the users which are all locked also. So locked means they will not able to log in into the system. And if there is a password getting 3-4 times, then if the account is locked, you will find when you click with the search as locked and click on search, you will find. No means where there is no locked users only. If you want to find out, you can use that no option. Either means it will give both the results. Similarly, active, no. So if the user is active, you will be fine. Suppose if user is deactivated, permanently he left from the organization, his account will be removed and he will be in no. Or if you want to list all the users with both the conventions, you can use either option and click on search, or you can click on list all to give all the users list which is available in your system. You can also notice here you can create new user from this screen. That is the reason we do not have currently now the user manager access. Otherwise, you can create a new user in the user interface itself. Clicking on create user, it will done. Now, okay, once I click on search and I want to manage that user. For example, I'm searching one user, casual user ID. I know his email address. I'm searching for third party. So the result has come like this: casual user, what is the name, business email address, what type of account is this, and whether he is having a password, when is his last login, whether currently is there any delegation is having. Okay. So now here, suppose user got a lock. So then they might request you, hey, I got locked because of the wrong password entered. Can you please reset your password? Then you can enter that user ID of the person, click on this check mark, click on this generate password. System will show you one pop-up. In that pop-up, you copy the password and share that password to the user, and the user can log in with that password. Then system will ask you to the change password immediately. Then he will change the password and he will use the changed password hereafter for login. That way you can use this one. Or under the actions, he can click on edit and he will get additional access to this particular user. What options he will be getting? He will be getting edit option to change any of the detail. Maybe something wrong with the email address he want to update. He can use this option to click on edit. Or he can also act as, so customer administration will be given this permission to act as. So why we act as, suppose one of the requests which you have got saying that, hey, I am trying to submit a PR, but I am unable to submit. So user is saying, but you did not get such a query from any other user, only one particular user is saying. Now you want to troubleshoot. So two things is available. One is when that user is available, you will be creating a conference call with the user or screen share session. Then you ask him to present and you will guide them. Suppose he is in different time zone or he is unable to do that or you want to perform, then you can act as that user and test it, whether it is whether you will be acting as that user. As a customer administrator, you are acting as that user and you will perform or you can verify whether he is having what is the issue he is having. Also, sometime you want to check after giving roles to certain users whether they are getting the screen or not. For example, you have assigned one of the user contract manager permission. So with this, he can able to search for some contracts, or he can able to create contract, or he can look for the contract. Instead of asking the user, you can act as that user and go to the screen, and you can search on behalf of that user. You can search the screens and all. Once you perform this activity, you will click on stop acting as, and it will return to your home page. So where you do not need the login names and password of that user, but you can act as that user and verify whether he has having necessary roles or not. At troubleshooting purposes, you can use this act as permission. It will be captured in the audit log. You can see real user and active user. In that way, currently that I will show that. So I'm exiting this. Delete this request. If you're asking how long period that user is active in the system and all, I mean, which date he was activated, which date he was logged in, then that is very difficult task, which you will not get. But you can find out if someone else is acting as that user, even in all the document also. When you go to the purchase requisition history, purchase order history also, you will be seeing real user. Let's see whether some, okay, first we will check, I will show you where you can see the audit log. Everything will be timestamped if you are acting on something. So when you go to audit log, so here you can use effective user. When you go to add or remove filters, you can select real user also. With this filter, event type, user manager or something you can select. The system will give you all the details. Like here, you will be finding, for example, if you're acting as a different user, then real user who is the person and who is the effective user. That way you can find it in the audit log. Second question, how we will know if I am not acting, somebody is acting as myself, then I will not be knowing. That was your question means. Then we'll go to one of the PR. I will go to the child realm. I'm selecting any one of the PR. So PR, any PR you can take it. When you go to the history, you can see here user, real user. Suppose if someone is acting as, then you will be able to see buyer 7, here buyer 6 has been submitted on behalf of that. I mean, if there is a difference in this user, you will able to notice in the history also. Okay, now, so that way you can act as an administrator and to perform your activities. Generally, we will be using this option in real time more because we want to troubleshoot some users. We need to know how it is working. Once you fix the issue, again, you will go and verify also. Now, locking. Suppose you got a mail from some administrator saying that, hey, we are having suspicious on this user, please log it. Or someone is going away, you will allow a cushion time. So until full handover is there, you want to log that user. When you select that user and click on a log, then that user will be locked. On reset dashboard, again, where we are seeing that the tiles, right? Contract management, whatever the dashboard which you are seeing, if you want to reset that user dashboard to the default setting, you can do that. Maybe he has made some changes and he's unable to revert the changes. Then you use this option to reset his dashboard. Now I'm going to show you, for example, when I click on edit user, in the first screen, general information which will give you the user's email address and other details which you want to correct. Under the groups, it will tell what are all the groups he is assigned or he is having a permission. Here, you can again, once you click on edit screen, when you are having a group name, then system will give you option to currently available, add users, then click on save. Then he will be getting the permission to those necessary rows which you have provided. So this is about user side access which you will be having. So if you are having any of the system where you are having access, you can do, just you can make sure to practice it. Now I will show you what will be the screens of other user information. on the first screen where you're selecting on the left hand side users, and when you're clicking on other user information, then that is the screen which you're getting here, other user information. Once you click on, you will be seeing general, P card, ship to addresses, billing addresses, and accounting information. If you want to edit any of these changes, you can do that. Now we are going to see on the groups tab. So once you click on group, similar to your user, system will result all the groups, group name and group description. These two are simple. Once you click on any of one group, then system will give you junior. For example, I'm selecting a group name. If you list all the groups will be listed down. Once you say with the filter, with the typing of the group name and description, then you will get this option. Okay, actions. Then once you click on edit group, then system will give you what is the description, unique name. This is where you need to refer anywhere you're doing activity. If you remember, I have mentioned that when you are creating a PR lookup files where for particular company code, certain user has to be added into the approval flow, you need to give unique name only, not the description. So unique names comes from here. In this case, both are same. Junior procurement management and group name, both are same. In some cases, these two will be different. So there will be a space, or there will be the group name will be the display name. Unique name is what system recognizes name. So we need to provide unique name in that cases. Okay, now I know this is a group, so I know which unique name and group name. When I click on users, then system will show you who are all having in this group, who are all having the access, all the users will be listed down. There you can click on add or remove button. So something like this save, it will come add. Once you click on add, you will be asked to select the users. Do you select the users and click on save, then that users will be added permission. As I mentioned, you can assign roles in two different ways, by changing the user and adding the roles, or going to the roles and adding the users. Whichever the preferred way you want to do it, both the way the results are same only. Now I want to show on some information on the child group functionality. Okay, so now groups. So in above case also, junior procurement manage, this is basically a system group. So you can see here defined by system and it is replicated. That means it comes from the parent. I have taken a screenshot from the child. That's why it is coming. Otherwise, in the parent core administration, in the groups, you will see system group and you won't see this replicated. Then second is custom group. What is the advantages of using custom group and system group? In system group, the system will give you all these functionalities. Now, I want to create a group, for example, procurement manager. This is not available in the system, or maybe it is available, which is giving certain permissions, but I want to create a different group. Okay, maybe in that case, I will say senior procurement team. This is the group. But this group, this is the group, I'm saying custom group. So I'm creating a group called senior procurement team, and I'm adding users, add users into it. What are all the users? Whoever having senior resources I'm having, I'm going to use user 1, user 7, user 8. I'm just randomly selecting it. So I'm adding this user. But these users, whenever I'm adding, so they will get a permissions of procurement agent. This is system permission. And procurement administrator, receiving manager, or invoicing manager. These are all system groups. I'm just going to create only one group and assign users, and all these people need to get this access. I don't want to individually provide them, but I adding into this group, they need to get this permission. In that case, you create a system group, and under the child groups, you maintain this one. So that is the advantage of here. Child groups. In the child groups, you maintain this thing. Then system will inherit the permissions from this group. Again, in the procurement agent group, you need to go to the child group, mention the senior procurement team, then they will inherit the permissions from this. And simply, instead of adding each user with these different roles, you use the custom developed roles to assign certain permissions to one particular group. Or we can also create onboarded or birth rights. This is the birth rights group, which will be given to all the users, which will have requester permission and purchasing agent permission. Something like that. You can create your custom groups so to get this advantage. And what is the third advantage will be in your approval flow. For example, if the value of purchase requisition is greater than 10,000, I want senior procurement team to approve. If the value is less than 10,000, then I want junior procurement team to review. So here I'm not using system created groups, but I'm using my own created groups. So this will be having these three users. Any one of the user can take an action. And similarly, I'm going to create one more junior team where I'm going to add, for example, in this case, I'm going to add junior procurement team. I'm just giving a random example. You can use any such scenarios to utilize this custom group creation. User 5, user 10, user 11. Okay. So then whenever in approval flow, these are all custom groups. So if in the custom group, if I do not maintain child, then that will be used only for approval purposes only. And if you want to give permission, then you need to add them in a system group. Then they will be getting the permissions to act as getting additional roles by adding into that particular group. This way, the custom groups will help you in determining additional roles and also using in approval processes. Generally, when you are creating a custom group, unique name you will mention. For example, you are replicating procurement agent, which is a system group. Then you want to use the same group and do your own customization. That case, you will add cus_procurement agent. Or the other recommended method will be, suppose you are using your company called Infosys, then Infosys_procurement agent. Or maybe some other company, Dell_procurement agent. Just to just to make it uniform that this is a custom group which will follow whatever the permissions of a procurement is. Then you define the name as like this. So, though we do not have access to this user manager and other activities, by site manager, we can perform all the activities also. I'll go to core administration, data import and export, import users. Okay. Here, when you're performing this activity, all the users will be loaded into the system. When you click on completed, you will be seeing one record got created. This way also you can do that, but I strongly recommend not to do this because we will be losing the system. They are monitoring if any new users being added by the last import or something, then our account will be removed. So when you go to the export, similarly, you can export current users available in the system. I will just click on current export. So here it will give you combined user export. This is the file which is defined password adapter, local ID, purchasing, vanilla delivered to originating system, supervisor, default currency, management level, unique name. So this is what I was referring, unique name. FG user is a unique name, but the name of the user will be, does not have. So this user test will be unique name for the user test ARB. Krunal is having a username called Krunal. So whenever you are using an approval flow, you need to give this name to reference the person of this name. That is unique name, purchasing group, general ledger, name, company code, and do not expect the same file in your organization also, where if you are not using SAP as your backend, then you will not get all this purchase group, general ledger, and additional company code, unique name and all may not come in your system. Depend upon your integration, the data will change. I will show you again on the system groups, whatever the groups which you are having. Purchase groups is different. Export user groups, not user groups. Okay, user consolidated, I'm exporting it. You can see a Ariba minus replicated, system replicated. The Ariba minus means whatever maintained in user interface. Replicated means which is coming from parent. System replicated means whatever say replicated, that also come. I will be taking all. I'll clicking on OK. Here you see here simple purchasing unit. Suppose your company is going by purchasing unit level filtering, then you will get this purchasing unit. Unique name, suppliers, unique username, password adapter. For the purchase group called suppliers, these are all the people having access. Now I will select one of the I will select the role procurement manager. So the procurement manager, who will be having access? User's unique name only you need to provide. What is his password adapter? Password adapter 1 is basically for enterprise users. If it is a third party user, you will be providing third party user. I want to see procurement manager role was assigned to how many people? About 45 records have been assigned, 45 users have been added, and I go here and I remove third party users. So these are all the system users which is having access about 32 users, and under third party users there are about 13 users are using third party user. Suppose you want to add permission to buyer 7, then you will simply come here. So in this case, buyer 7 is having this role already. If you want to remove, you will just simply remove this user from this one. Once you import the file, then that role will be removed. Or if this is not there, if you want to add it, simply you prepare a file like this. I will copy this one. I am pasting here, and here I'm going to give this access to buyer 5, for example, and he is a third party user. I need to make sure these two data existing in your system, and even this one also need to be existing system. When you import the file using groups purchase group consolidated file, then these people will get the permission. So how we use that import export I have already shown. When you go to import user to group consolidated file, click on that import, then use update only, which means the data will not be created. Okay, here you are seeing a difference. If you remember yesterday we were discussing, whenever you're doing that activity, read this sentence again. update only modifies existing object. If already exists in the data, it is not created. If you don't want to modify and don't include any data, then okay. Same, if you want to update details, use this one. And if you want to remove something, then you use this file and choose the file and click on run. Cancelling it, I am. If you want to see the history, how many times this load data got loaded, you can see there is an error detail. The password adapter is not maintained for buyer 7, then it is not able to update it. So buyer 7 is a third party user. So they have loaded the file with password adapter. So the system has thrown error. He is not the person of that unique name. Then you need to change that and make that third party user. Then you can able to import it. Someone tried this in last time. History will give you whenever the job is loaded, how many records were updated. Created means newly created. Updated means it has updated and modified the data. If you want to see the information, click on view. In some cases only we'll give this details. Error details. Yeah. So wherever the errors details are available in this case. Otherwise, there is no way whatever the file was loaded cannot be taken from Ariba. So this access will be given to this strict access will be given to the users. So only the people knows this functionality will be allowed to perform this activity. And by doing this, you're going to update the entire system. So whenever you're doing this activity in your company or in your production environment or in your test environment, always remember you take a backup of the existing file. So how do you take a backup? You will go to the export, same task which you are uploading, click on an export. Don't touch that file. Keep that file as is. Take a copy of that file. Then you do your workings, whatever you want to change, you want to remove the rows, or if you want to add rows, you do on the copy of the file which you have taken, not on the file which is exported. Then you import that file and keep these files in safe. Suppose something got corrupted where the file you have loaded has an issue, then at least you can retrieve back. The Ariba is not showing this information anywhere in the system. If something goes wrong, then you are going to badly hit because there is no way the backup is available. Because it is a cloud, it will get updated. I don't think, and the Ariba is not maintaining any archiving or anything. It is limited to your application. So it should be very, very careful. Not only this activity, any activity which you are doing in import and export permissions, make sure you understand with your senior who is next to you and check out if he's faced any issues in the data. Then you always take a backup, then you are safe. If you are not taking a backup and upload, then that will be a mess.